Hello, this is Suna Senman, continuing to read A Course of Love that was received by Marie Perron. And I will continue with the last paragraph of the first reading on to the next several paragraphs. The ego is what you made. Christ is what God made. The ego is your extension of who you think you are. Christ is God's extension of who He is. In order to end the need for learning, you must know who you are and what this means. Where the original Course in Miracles was a course in thought reversal and mind training. A course to point out the insanity of the identity crisis and dislodge the ego's hold. This is a course to establish your identity and to end the reign of ego. There are still few who dare to believe in the glory of who they are. Few who can lay aside the idea that to think of themselves in the light of God's thought of them rather than their own is arrogance. This is only because the thought of them rather than their own is arrogance. This is only because the ego is not yet and finally gone. You are right not to desire to glorify the ego in any way. You know that the ego can be glorified and that you would not want it to be. This is why, while the ego remains, you cannot know who you are. The only glory is of God and His creations. That you are among the creations of God cannot be disputed. Thus all glory is due you. All glory is yours, and your efforts to protect it from the ego's reach are valiant but unnecessary. The ego cannot claim the glory that is yours. Many of you desire to be foot soldiers, to just live the good life without claiming glory, without having any grand ideas about yourself. It is possible to do much good without recognizing who you are, but it is impossible to be who you are, and you are what the world is for. Your recognition of yourself and your recognition of your brothers and sisters is what the world is for. To stop before this is accomplished when it is in reach is every bit as insane as belief in the ego. Ask yourself what it is that stops you. As humble as you seem to be in your choice, you're still letting ego make your choice. This is not humility, but fear. The further teachings of the original Course were designed to turn fear into love. When you think you can go only so far and no further in your acceptance of the teachings of the Course and the truth of yourself as God created you, you are abdicating love for fear. You are perhaps making this world a better place, but you're not abolishing it. In your acceptance of doing good works and being a good person, you're accepting ministry to those in hell rather than choosing heaven. You accept that you view as possible and reject what you perceive as impossible. You thus cling to the laws of man and reject the laws of God. You claim your human nature and reject your divine nature. What is this rejection but rejection of yourself? What is this rejection but fear masquerading as humility? What is this rejection but rejection of God? What is this but a rejection of miracles? You who have rejected yourself are likely to feel increasingly burdened. Although an initial burst of energy may have followed your reading of the Course or your discoveries of other forms of truth, although you may even have experienced what seemed to be miracles happening to you as you continued to reject yourself, this energy and these experiences that lightened your heart would have begun to recede and to seem as distant and unreal as a mirage. All that you retrain is a belief in effort and a struggle to be good and to do good, a belief that clearly demonstrates that you have rejected who you are. O child of God, you have no need to try at all, no need to be burdened or to grow tired or weary. You who want to accomplish much good in the world, realize that only you can be accomplished. You are here to awaken from your slumber. You are here not to awaken to the same world, a world that seemed a little more sane than before, but still governed by insanity, a world in which it seemed possible to help a few others, but certainly not all others, but to awaken to a new world. If all that you see changed with your world is a little less insanity than before, then you have not awakened, but you are still caught in the nightmare your ego has made. By choosing to reject yourself, you have chosen to try to make sense of the nightmare rather than to awaken from it. This will never work. So this is A Course of Love by Marie Perron, who received it from, of course, the same one who gave us A Course of Miracles. And beside this book, you see the book called Being, which is really about recognizing your reality in yourself. I offer you these with blessings, blessings, blessings.